Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Ain't That Something? And ladies, this season is for you. The next couple of months of episodes, we are going to dive into what it takes to align yourself and position yourself and truly have an understanding of what you need to do and what you need to apply into your purpose and your goal, if this is your goal, to get into a relationship. All right. And don't get me wrong, you probably have major list of all of the goals that you want to achieve. Some of you may be achieving those goals right now or very, very close to them. But for my listeners, I really want to engage with those that are in a space where you're tired of being single. You're tired of doing the same old, right? And we learned in the cuffing season that when we position ourselves to spinning the block and getting with the same type of person, it's a different person, but the same kind of personalities, we learn that we have to reflect on ourselves and really identify what it is that is triggering us to be attracted to that type of relationship, right? So now that we are here, okay, we got a clean slate. It's a new year. We done made resolutions. We done blocked those numbers. We done told them we not doing this no more. I'm leaving them in 2025. So here's a chance for you to set a new path. And I just want to put it to you like this. If you don't want to lose a good man, you have to already start activating your life as if that good man is coming tomorrow. Okay? So you need to really look deep into yourself and work on those things that are necessary to get you in that position, because you can scroll all day on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and you can hear from all of these quote unquote dating coaches and, influencers and, even just reading the literature of memes that are out there that are pretty much programming us in the wrong direction. I mean, there is some good information out there that you can apply, and you can say, you know what, yeah, I never thought about this in this way, and I'm going to give that a try. But ladies, please filter some of this stuff, because that influencer, that dating coach, that professional, listen, they're on here because they're trying to get their content seen and get everyone engaged in it and have people, setting arguments and all of the things. Like, understand the game first. So when you are on your phone and you are, following a particular influencer and they give you some information, if it doesn't sit well in your spirit, like, you got that little discernment, like, that doesn't sound right. Follow your gut instinct, because not all information is there for you, and not all information is interpreted the correct way. All right. And what I like to challenge is the thought that when we are exposed to these different ideas on a daily basis at our fingertips, it is really putting a blind filter on what the truth is. And it's, in my opinion, it's preventing us from taking accountability on what it is that we need to do for ourselves if our true goal is to meet that person or put ourselves in a position to meet the one that we want to be with. You tired of being single? Then this message is for you. Okay, so sit back, listen. If you're driving in your car, honey, turn it up. You might got a 30-minute drive, because, around here, getting from point A to point B can be anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes. So sit back, we're going to talk about it. We're going to really explore these ideas that are constantly fed to us. And in reality, when we try to apply that, we are still getting the same results and still ending up single because the information that's out there is really misguiding us. We don't have the elders anymore. We don't have, the aunties being mentors to the women as much as before. And so now that information and that wisdom, we're getting it from very short and brief moments of time. And a lot of it is baloney. Okay, I'm going to keep it real with you. Because in reality, when you are trying to meet someone and really connect with someone, it is not through social media. It is in real life. It is in real life situations. It's at, events where you have to engage and you have to talk to people. We are losing that skill. We are losing the ability to engage and interact socially with others. And that's one of the reasons why we are single, because we're listening to all of the influencers tell us that we need to have these types of standards, and you're not going to get a man if you lower your standards and you get with somebody who's doing the bare minimum, and you need to demand that they treat you like a queen. Okay. That sounds good. That sounds great. But again, if you have not done the work to be a queen, to really identify as a queen, how are you going to demand queen treatment if you yourself are not treating yourself as a queen? You're not positioning yourself as a queen. How are you expecting a man to treat you like a queen? And what does that even look like? Like, to be honest, right? A lot of times we hear this stuff, it sounds good to us, and it feeds our egos to this level that we begin to really have that as a true standard and an expectation. And I'm going to tell you right now, ladies, if you walking around here talking about you a queen, and he better do this and he better do that, and you've been doing that, you've been having that same attitude, you've been doing those same practices, please tell me, where has it got you? Because if you're still single, or if you're still doing the loop-de-loop with the ones from the past, that's not queen-like behavior, okay? And so I want to explore that, because I was, on social media and something popped up, and it just made me question, like, really? I need to be treated like a queen. I need to demand that this man is going to pay for my dinner. I need to demand that this man is going to plan out all the dates. He's going to, bend over backwards and do all of these things. But not once in that piece of information that was shared did it say what the woman has to do. And that's where we're misguided, ladies, because we are expecting the man to do all of these things. Pay for your dinner, pick you up, open your door, buy you flowers, buy you candy, buy you jewelry, sell you some money. Like, all of these things, all of these expectations that don't really fit in our real world. Now, out there somewhere, there is some gentleman, okay, that is doing all of those things. All right. Because just like the women are being guided to think that that's the expectation and that's the standard and that's the way you should be treated. Okay. There is somebody out there that's doing all of that. Don't get me wrong. But I guarantee you that when you have all of that being done and you're not putting anything in or you're not contributing at all to that relationship and you're just thinking he's supposed to bend over backwards for you, trust and believe that relationship is going to feel and be one-sided. And don't, please quote me on this, because if you have a man that's doing all of those things, he's paying all the bills, he's taking you out to dinner, he's paying for the trips, he's buying you clothes, he's taking you on shopping sprees, he's paying for the daycare, he's paying for all of this stuff, he's shelling out his money. What do you think he's expecting from you? Is that being treated like a princess? Is that being treated like a queen? What is what is the exchange? All right? Because the women that I know that are in relationships similar to that, or if that's been their expectation, one or two things is the outcome. One, they're still single, and that man that is paying all of this and doing all of this and that and making them feel like a quote unquote queen or princess, they're married to somebody else. And so you're just this woman that they are like, you're like the little play toy. You're like their little doll. They can feel good about themselves that they can treat you and do all of these things. I don't really know any solid relationships where the man is doing all of that and the woman is getting her pedicure done and not having to do anything. I don't know. I mean, they may exist, but I just don't know. Like, I don't know if that is a true realistic outcome. And the ones that I do know, I can guarantee you that it's not all what it seems. So it may seem like she's being pampered. She's been, she doesn't have to work, or he's doing all of the things. She doesn't have to, cook or clean or whatever. But I guarantee you there is a lacking or a void in that relationship that is not being fulfilled. Either she's not 100% in that relationship or he's not 100% in that relationship, because all he's seeing himself as is someone who can provide material things. And if she's in the relationship and she's just feeling like, I'm just receiving the material things and I'm not contributing anything other than my body or my presence, like, how much substance is going to be there, right? Now, that's a very loaded opinion, and I agree with that. But I do feel like in realistic, everyday, today relationships, that is not ideal. That is not realistic. That is for another category of women that, they're seeking that. They want to be treated a certain way. They don't want to have to do anything or put any work. And so in their minds, the real man or the standard is, to have that. But again, to me, from what I've seen, the evidence that I've seen is that those are just temporary relationships. They don't hold any true value, because once that man is tired of you, he can move on. Okay. And if all you are presenting to him is that you got a pretty face and a nice body, and you just want to spend his money, I just think that kind of relationship is only, it can only go so far. And they could get married and everything, but again, there's going to be an emptiness there. There's going to be something that is not fully fulfilled. All right. So moving over into the other perspective, you are expecting this person to do all of these things, bend over backwards, plan out the dates, take you on trips, and you get upset that, he wants you to open up to him and, show your appreciation for what he's done, right? And acknowledge that he is going over and beyond to appease you and make you feel like the quote unquote queen that you know, aspire to be, or you take on that identity to be. And that man is going to see that this is not really, he's not going to take the relationship serious. It's going to be just, again, a temporary thing. And that guy is not going to fulfill any type of marriage with you because he's not going to see you serious. And like I said, most of the times he might already be married to somebody, you know, or he's pursuing another type of woman who does have her own, who does find him in a space where she can consider him and she can do things to make him feel special and wanted. That's why sometimes when you see these marriages that fail and the men move on to another woman, or they marry the woman that they possibly had an affair with, or, you know, just whatever the outcomes are, they move on to somebody else. It's truly because something in that relationship was missing. And that person didn't get it. That woman didn't get it because she was thinking, this is all I need to do. I'm just here for you. I'm your wife. And that's it. I wasn't given any instructions. And yeah, how you doing? We gonna thug this out. Oh yeah, you pay all the bills. Me? I'll cook the food. Yeah. Sometimes I might just order out. Or yeah, you pay for the trip. Yeah, you pay for all the trips. I'm not paying for any trips because I have my own money. I'm keeping my money. Men don't like that. Good men don't like that. Good men don't want to feel like they're being used by a woman. They don't want to feel like all of their efforts and energies are being done in vain to someone who doesn't appreciate it. And we can relate to that, ladies. We don't want to be in a relationship with someone that is not putting any effort for us. And I think that that's the miscommunication with a lot of this information that's out here when they're like, you need to have high standards, you need to be treated like a queen. Right, in essence, okay, not in reality. In reality, you are seeking or making yourself available to someone who is going to put just as much effort that you are putting into the relationship and to getting to know them as they are. So, okay, so what? He doesn't plan all the dates. It could be half and half. All right. It could be maybe that he's not a good planner, right? And maybe you're not a good planner. Guess what? We get creative. We look at ChatGPT. We look at Google. We ask our friends. We, get advice from different people like, hey, what's a good spot to do this? You learn, okay, how to do a skill that you don't know how to do well. You don't, depend on that as a crutch. Like, oh, I'm not good at planning. I'm not good at this. I'm not good at cooking. I'm not really good at talking. Miss me with all the excuses. Because that's exactly what we would say about a man who's not putting effort in. Like, what do you mean? Don't you have homeboys? Don't you, you work, right? Don't you have people that are married or in relationships? You can't ask them a question. You can't get a census of like, hey, what's a great place I can take for a date night? So if neither one of you in the relationship are putting that effort and working towards growing as a couple, okay, couples goals, if you're not doing that, then what do you expect? How do you expect to not be single anymore? How do you expect to get a good man? You're going to drive that good man away. And men, you're going to drive the good women away. And you're going to be sitting there heartbroken because, man, after, hindsight 2020, you're like, oh, they were doing this. I wasn't doing what I needed to do. All right. And so I just want for anyone out there that is looking to establish yourself in a meaningful, healthy relationship, not something that's temporary, not something that's just a trend, not something that is sparkling and glittering and it's looking like gold, and you get in something and you're extremely disappointed, right? Because you're thinking, oh yeah, he took me on a shopping spree. He bought me flowers. He got my teeth done. He got my hair done, whatever. That stuff is temporary. Because if you're not bringing anything, if you just have your hand out to a good man, and I'm emphasizing good man because for the last 5, almost 6 years, the title of high value woman and high value man was just overwhelming, right? I'm not even focusing on that, okay? But when we're talking about a good man, we're talking about someone who is taking care of themselves. They know what they want. They're intentional about you. And they're putting the effort about you. And they actually communicate that to you. Right? If you're dealing with somebody and he's not telling you what the game plan is, and he's just like, yeah, we gonna just see how it works out. That's their favorite sign. That's their favorite line, okay? For someone who is gonna waste your time. Let's just see where it goes. No, I'm not really interested in seeing where it goes. I can do that on my own. I can, move about how I will. I need someone, and women, this is the standard. The standard is you are getting with a man who has a vision, who knows where he wants to go. He knows what he ultimately wants. If he ultimately wants to be married and he wants to be a husband that is going to protect, love, provide, all of those things that come with that, he is going to communicate that to you right off the bat. Okay. Now, I'm not talking about somebody who is just out here clinging and, doesn't have any tact about it, but his efforts and his actions with you are going to demonstrate more than words what he's trying to do. But the words are important as well, because you got some people that are like, well, I've been doing this and I've been doing that. You couldn't tell? No, friend, we can't read your mind. Okay, men, let's recognize that. Women are not mind readers. And the same for women. Men can't read your mind. So if you're just hanging in there and waiting for the magical day for him to propose to you or let you know y'all are ready for the next level, he's ready to be your man, no. It needs to be established from day one. From the moment that you guys start your introductions and you're going on those little, innocent, sweet, get to know you dates. Okay, these are the things that you're talking about. And if he's not talking about that, if he's seeming a little aloof to the conversation, if he's avoidant, if he has some hostility to the question, especially, red flags, abort mission, because he is not the one for you. And you're not going to change him. You're not going to be the magical woman, the queen. You're not going to be that to him where he's going to magically recognize like, oh, this is a good woman. This is a queen. I'm going to treat her right. No, if he's not there, that's not what he wants right now. Okay? So women, we gotta recognize the reality. You can't depend on what social media deems as, the standard. and what expectations are, because you're going to be extremely disappointed with the results. And you're going to be in that pool with everybody else still on these streets. Okay, single boulevards, single lanes. You just gonna be out there with all the riffraff, because the people that are dealing with the riffraff are the people who have not worked on themselves. Okay, so ladies, this topic is something that we need to really stress and learn from, and we need to be the new trailblazers for how to be good wives and good girlfriends. Like, bring that back, because it's not just the men that's out here. You cannot expect a man to, cuff you up and put you in a relationship if you are on this high horse that he has to do all of these things first before you're going to do anything. Okay. Let me know how that works. Let me know how that works out for you. Right? Because the only men folk that I know that's going to deal with that, and this is like slim thinkings, is the ones that don't nobody want, that's old and out of shape and extra gray. Okay, well, he has a lot of money. Okay, great. Go right ahead, if that's what you want. Okay? But this conversation is not for that woman. And I know that everybody, to each his own. You have the autonomy to be with whoever you want and have your choice and have your preference. This conversation is not for you. This conversation is for the women out here that are kind of stuck, and they desire to be with someone that is going to be their person, that they're going to be able to grow with, possibly grow a family with, be married, all of that. Like, that's the audience I'm talking to. So if you are on that other side and you're like, hey, I don't have to work for nothing. He bought me this Range Rover for Christmas, and yeah, he got an oxygen tank, but it's all good. Boo-boo, do your thing. I'm not hating. Like, go handle that. But I'm talking to the women that are in reality and maybe have already lived that life and know it doesn't end anywhere but back to the single lanes. And here we are. Okay, so don't let another year go by where you're still operating in the same fashion and still doing the same thing, expecting a different outcome. If you were acting like a queen in 2025 and it didn't get you nowhere, why do you think it's going to work in 2026? Please. Acting like a queen is one of those numbers that's going to run the man away. Because as soon as you start saying you demand this, I demand you open the door. Okay, do you open the door back for him? No? Okay, try it. I always open a man's door when I'm on a date. He opens the door for me, I'm going to lean across that front seat and open the door for him. I've been doing it since I've been dating, right? And to me, that's just, one of those little extra perks that you get. If you show me kindness that way, I'm gonna give it right back to you. Now, not everybody that I did that to, we ended up in a, magical fairy tale relationship, but it was still just a gesture of, if we are to get in a relationship, it's going to be a team effort. It's going to be teamwork. That's where my mindset is. That's where my standard is. So you open the door for me, I'm going to reach over there and open the door for you, because we're on the same team. But we will explore that a little bit more later in this season. Stay tuned. We're going to make it all the way to Valentine's Day. And I think that this year is going to be a year where a lot of women and listeners and people that want to just, start over fresh and do things differently in their lives is going to transpire. And I believe in you. I encourage you to do the work and really take notice of the things that you have had struggle with in relationships and see if that's the root issue as to why you're single. Because, that's pretty much what it's gonna end up being, is that you have to look into yourself and you have to work on yourself. And as you work on yourself, as you build your confidence, as you set your standard and your expectation, and you know what it is that you want, you're going to be able to weed out those. It's not going to be about being treated like a queen. It's going to be being treated with respect and giving that respect back mutually, and positioning yourself to be with someone that is going to love you till your heart is full. Like, that's really what it's about. No relationship is perfect, but if you do the work right now individually and you meet someone who has done the work as well for themselves, it's going to be a match made in heaven. You're going to be like, this is what Ain't That Something is about. All right. So listen, thank y'all for listening. And until next time, ain't that something?